Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. I wanted to do something very quick and easy. It's summertime, it's officially summer, and I'm heading out to do some errands. Gotta go get some fruits and vegetables from the grocery store. I hit up Costco possibly today, and I wanted to share with you guys my face routine that I have been doing. And the reason why I wanted to share this, I mean, some of these things I've been using for quite some time, and I'm sort of just kind of bunching it all into this video. The reason why I wanted to share this with you guys is because last weekend, by the time this video goes up, it'll be already a week past, that I went to the taco festival that was in Denver. It was okay. Lots of food trucks there selling tacos. I had the veggie tacos, which are really good, and those are my favorites. I did the same routine when I went to the festival, even though if I'm going to like a festival or like a water park or an amusement park, I really probably would just keep everything extremely minimal, maybe something around the eyes to kind of brighten up the under eye area, but absolutely no makeup usually. But I found this routine actually really works, and when I was at the Denver Festival, it was, I want to say 95 degrees, so extremely hot. I couldn't be out there for very long. My son was just exhausted after an hour and a half. He's just like, "Mommy, let's go." After I was out there feeling very hot, very sweaty, I realized several hours later that my skin did not need to be touched up, and I was just kind of blown away because usually when you're outside you get kind of hot and sweaty. These products have really held up, so I'm going to show you what it is today, and I'm going to do pretty much just the face stuff, no eye stuff today. But the whole routine is pretty simple, and I think there's two things that I have been using that have made a really big difference. And the first thing that we're going to start with is the prepping step for the skin. I have been using the Ren Clean Skincare. This is the Perfect Canvas Finishing Serum. It's a silicone-free primer. It looks like this. It's, you know, a classic glass bottle with a dropper. And the Ren Clean Skincare is a clean skincare brand, obviously by the name of it. You find it at Sephora. And there is no sulfates, no parabens, no mineral oils, no petrolatum, no synthetic fragrances, synthetic colors, no TEA, DEA, glycols, silicones, PEGs. So it's free of a lot of things that you find in a lot of products, whether it's skincare, cosmetics. And this bottle here is only good for 9 months. So I'm coming towards that very end. It is a little bit on the pricey side, but what I enjoy about this is that it's silicone-free. Now, silicone-free primers can be good for making the skin look smooth, for filling in pores, and just giving you that sort of poreless look. But if you get a little bit oily, if you're going to be outside in very extreme heat temperatures, it can make you look oily. It can add to that oily look to the skin, even if it's not oily. It could just the formula of silicone primers that feel kind of slippery tend to do that. So when I realized that this silicone-free primer can hold everything in place but not make me look oily, I thought, I feel like I found something really good. So this is what I'm going to start with. I've already done my skincare, and I actually do use this after all my skincare products have been applied, even if I'm not wearing anything, just because, again, it's good for 9 months, and I want to say this is like 50 bucks, so it's a little bit pricey, but I want to say it has probiotics as well in it, so that's a good thing. So here's a dropper. It's a clear liquid, and I just do probably like 3 drops. You don't really need much. Rub it in the hands and then just apply it. It smells very clean. There's no like fragrance. It doesn't smell like a lot of those other skincare brands that put a lot of fragrances in them, and most brands use what's called masking fragrance to kind of cover up the scent or the herbal or medicinal scent of some ingredients. It's supposed to make it more appealing for people, but honestly, I would rather just have that medicinal kind of earthy dirt smell than loaded fragrance that can irritate the skin. Okay, so the two things that I have been doing, and I am using a little bit of foundation. I have been mixing the IT Cosmetics, the CC Cream in Light, which has SPF 50, which is great for coverage when you're outside, just protecting the skin. It's so important to do that. But this actually matches me pretty good since I've gotten quite a bit of color over the last several weeks. But I do want to make use of another product, which is my Clinique Even Better Foundation. So I've been mixing a tiny bit of this with this to kind of lighten this just a touch, so it allows me to use my bronzers and other products like the NYX stuff, which I will show you. But if I use this on its own without mixing it, if I do bronzer, it's going to look a little dark. So I like to lighten it, and this Even Better is really good. I like it. I have it in the shade called Linen, which is number 24. This is very fair on it, so really light. So I'm going to shake it up. You don't have to really shake this one up. The lightest one is the Clinique, and that's really a good match for my skin when I'm not tanned. And then this is the IT Cosmetics. So not a lot of the Clinique. So I mix it with my finger, and yes, I've washed my hands, and I've thoroughly washed the back of my hand. And so I just kind of dot this on. The next thing that I feel like has made a huge difference is my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. Now, I bought this because my black beauty blender was getting a little bit of a tear, and I've had it for several months, I think 4 months. They say to dispose of it every 3 months. Whether you do that or not, it's up to you, but I wanted something more affordable if I'm going to be switching it out every 3 months. This is $5.99. Comes in like a travel case if you want it. You can buy a double pack. It's really good. The flat end is what I use. I use a pointed side for my under eye area. So I take the flat side, and I'm just going to blend all this in. Now, what's important to know with these beauty sponges is that you have to wring it out. I've been leaving it in a wrapped paper towel to absorb any extra moisture. Now, this is slightly damp, and it feels nice and cool to the skin. But I tell you what, it does actually make a huge difference using this that's been damp versus your fingers versus a brush. I feel like it makes everything stay a lot longer, and especially over that Perfect Canvas primer from Ren Skincare, I feel like it really does make a difference. I'm going to take whatever's left on the back of my hand and just go around my face. Now, I keep everything pretty light because that's just the coverage that I like. If you want more coverage, you just add more product, and I think I'm going to do just a little bit more. So I blended this out really good, and I've been working at it for quite some time to make sure everything is blended and that there aren't any streaks. I love this sponge. It's really affordable. When I say it's $5.99, and it works really, really well. So I've got that done. I do want to add a little bit of some spot concealing. Now I have in my little makeup bag, which I talked about in my last video. I'll link it here if you're interested in seeing all the stuff that's in here, including some of my go-to favorites. I've been using the Bye Bye Breakout from IT Cosmetics. I do have this as a scar here. I have this tiny little one that came up. So what I do with that is I take a little bit on the back of my hand, like so, just a tiny bit, because I don't really need a whole lot. And I add some of the IT Cosmetics to it because that is in the shade Fair, and that is too light, but then the light is too dark. And then the one right here, this has a lot of good ingredients to heal blemishes and get rid of them. You can use either side, really. I'm going to turn it and use this edge here and just kind of gently pat that in. Alright, so now I have everything blended, have everything kind of covered. I did a very, very thin amount of the spot concealer. That's just a red mark. It will fade, and I won't have to use it anymore. This is just a scar. It's going to be lingering. But anywho, we're moving on. I'm going to use the Tatcha the Pearl, which I've talked about before. I love using this. I use this pretty much every single morning. Even if I'm not wearing anything else on my face, it makes a huge difference to brighten up the under eye area. And if you haven't had a good night's rest, this can be a savior. If you just want to have a nice bright under eye, this could be it for you. It comes in 3 shades. I have it in the shade Moonlight, and I just absolutely adore the packaging. And it looks like a little pearl shape, and it almost looks like you have to lift the lid, but you have to actually unscrew this. And I use a Q-tip, which you probably noticed it's in my hand, to take out a little bit of the product. But what I do is I just kind of dab it just a little bit. You can use your finger and kind of soften it. I use my ring finger to kind of pat it in. And this looks really light, but once you blend it in and it sets, and I don't mean set as in it goes into like a powder formula, because it doesn't. Once it just sets like on your skin for a little bit of time, it actually turns into the right shade and works really well. So then I take the pointed side of my beauty blender and I just kind of dab this out and make sure to get the outer corner, which for me is a little bit on the red side. And make sure that I get right in this inner pocket here where I have the discoloration. And I can just go straight in like I did on this eye without blending it first with my finger, and it does the same thing. It works really, really well. Blends beautifully. And then whatever's left on the very point of my sponge, I'm going to go right around the brow area. And I'm not going to put this on my lid. I'm not going to do anything on my lids today. And like I said, a Q-tip, just kind of dab it, works really well. Alright, so I have used just the tiniest bit of powder, and I'm using just this little mini one from Dermablend. It works really great. It's just a translucent powder. It doesn't really have any color to it. You could use something that's brightening or whatever you want under the eyes. Take it again on the point of that sponge, and then I look up and I just kind of quickly push that into the skin so that it doesn't crease or move, especially since I'm going to be outside. Or if, you know, you live in a place where it's hot and humid, you want to set everything. And that's really the only powder that I use. I don't take this powder anywhere else on my face. Alright, so brows are done. Such a huge difference. I use the L'Oreal, ooh, I almost dropped it, the L'Oreal product. Everything is going to be listed as usual down below. Now, when I went away for a few days recently, I remember saying that I take my brushes in a little travel case. Well, I ended up actually, let me just show you. I didn't take any eyeshadow. Well, I did take an eyeshadow brush. Did I take eyeshadow? I don't think I did. But I actually put my brushes up in the top compartment of the Sonia Kashuk bag. Really well bag compartment thing to store things here at home, to travel. It makes a huge difference. Keeps everything organized for me. Talked about that. Check out that video if you want to know more. We're on to bronzer because I need a little color and life to my skin. Now this is quite big. Thankfully it fits inside of this, so for that reason I'm going to say it's travel friendly. However, if your makeup bag is smaller or you take way less products, this is not going to be travel friendly because this thing is massive. But it has everything that you need in there. I use this shade here, which is the warmest one, as my bronzer. These would be more of like a contouring, maybe this one for me. I could use this as an eyeshadow. I could use this, heck, for my brows even, if I forgot my brow products. I use this highlighter. I mix this highlight here, the white one, with this sort of light, kind of creamy color. It's not very dewy, this one here. This is more of a kind of satin, and this is more shimmery, so I mix the two. Then I mix these two. I know, I use them all. I mix this light pink and this sort of banana color for the under eye area to add a little brightness, especially like right in this sort of triangular area. And I dig it. I like it, so we're going to do that today. I've got my e.l.f. brush. This is the complexion brush. I've talked about this before. This $3 brush is so incredible, and honestly I reach for this more so than my Morphe brushes, than my other more expensive brushes that cost a fortune. This is $3. You can get it at Target or online. It works beautifully. And I'm just going to lightly go on the apples of the cheek and just bring that up towards the hairline, going through the temples, warming everything up. And this makes a difference as well because, like I said, I do lighten the CC cream so that it allows me to do this. Otherwise, it would be way too dark. On this outer edge right here of the face. And I also do bring this across the nose, whatever's left, because you know when you get a nice tan, you have that sort of color right through here. And I do take it onto the apples of my cheek. Then finally down the jawline to make sure everything is nice and even. If you get a little extra, you can always go back in with your beauty sponge. It's still slightly damp, almost dry here on this end, and kind of blend it out. And again, I just kind of focus more of it on the edges and on the cheek. Whatever's left, kind of over the bridge of the nose, through the chin, just to kind of give me a nice, pretty kind of tan to match the rest of my body, because my face doesn't tan. Even if I put sun tanning lotion, it just doesn't. I think it's probably because I exfoliate frequently, and it never has. So anyways, moving on. I have this brush here, which I love for highlighting, the Morphe E8. And I'm going to use this first to do the brightening under the eyes. So the light pink and this yellow. And I just kind of take it right under here. If you hear scratching, that's my rabbit scratching in their tunnel. I have a cat tunnel that they like to play in and sleep in. And that's them. Of course, they don't do this when I'm not filming. It's when I turn the camera on is when they decide that they're going to make noise and create a ruckus. Anyways, so take the same brush, and I'm going to go in with this light, well, can you see? This light one here. It's more of a satiny finish. And I will show you when you apply that. This one can be used, honestly, all over your face because it's just very, very subtle and very natural looking. So as you can see, we're keeping everything pretty light and easy, but we're not skipping any steps. We're, you know, doing the whole thing. And then I go around the tip of my nose. Now I'm going to take this lighter shade here, this kind of champagne white color, and you'll see how it will get a little bit brighter and more dewy. Take that through the temples, through here. You see, makes it kind of glowy. A little bit more here. Tip of the nose, Cupid's bow. And I have my Physicians Formula blush in here. This is one my go-to for pretty much everyday use. take a little bit of that and just lightly swirl it on the apples of the cheek and blend it up into that bronzer. I should have done this before my highlighter, but it's okay. So this is pretty much my routine. And like I said, I'm not sacrificing any single step. I've prepped my skin. I've mixed CC cream and a foundation, but I did 2 combinations that work really well and hold up really great in the hot heat. That Perfect Canvas Primer from Ren Skincare really does, I think, in my opinion, make a difference as well at keeping oil under control. I don't have to blot or touch up at all with this routine. I've done my bronzer to kind of make my face match the rest of my body, blush, highlight, and of course, eyes. You know, I'll do liquid liner really is what I've been doing, or just mascara, because like I said, if it's hot, you want to be careful with what you do around the eyes. If you have transfer happening with mascara, use a waterproof mascara. If you have powder liner and it transfers, use a liquid. So it keeps it in place and it sort of locks it in. You can do false eyelashes. Those tend to stay on as well, and just forego the mascara if you have issues with it running, or if you haven't found a waterproof formula. I personally don't even use waterproof mascaras. I use the L'Oreal one, and that one never fails me. I can use an upper and lower, and it's fine. I would do that as well if I was going to go out to dinner. I would go from daytime. I would put lots of mascara on, maybe a little bit of liquid liner, and go out to dinner, go out to do something fun, whatever. But since I'm just going to the grocery store, I really don't want to wear, like, I hate to say a full face because I'm pretty much almost there, but I just don't want to mess with it today. And I think I may do another video. I have to unbox and show you guys my goodies from my Play by Sephora box, so I think I may do that as well. But this is my routine. Quick, easy, holds up really well. It's my summer-proof routine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and for watching this video. If you are curious about any of the products that I use, they will all be listed below in the description box. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'm also going to be going to Vegas very soon, so if you want to go along for the ride and be there and see what we're doing, definitely follow me on Snapchat. I'm so excited. I've never been to Vegas. I cannot wait. I'm counting down the days, and so is my son. So we're so excited. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.